Hey, what's up? Derek here. I'm lucky enough to have a friend who gave me his old Oculus Rift VR headset and whole system. The only problem is that the sensors were installed into his wall and the wires ran through the wall. So he couldn't actually pull the whole cable out to give to me, and he had to snip them off so that I told him that I could probably splice a new USB cable onto the end of it. What I figured out is that I can actually take apart this sensor and replace the cable inside with just another one of these USB 3 peripheral cables. So today I'm going to show you how to do that, and it's actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So this is the Oculus Rift CV1 VR sensor, and it comes with this stand on it. What I had to do was I had to take these pliers here. The other tools that I used to open this thing up are this little tool that's like kind of like a big guitar pick, but it's skinny enough, kind of like a credit card, that I could slip inside here to pull these parts off. I also needed this just piece of long, little hard long thing. I used a larger bit Phillips head screwdriver here, and then a smaller Phillips head bit here. Also, I'm replacing it with this other USB cable. The end looks like this. And this came with one of my external hard drives, but I'm not using that right now, so we'll repurpose it to be the new cable for this VR sensor. The deal with this thing, this little stand piece, is that it's in one of these two holes over here, and I had to use my pliers here, hold it and wiggle it and pull straight out. It might seem hard at first, but it works, trust me. And the next thing we need to do is pop off this back cap. So we take this little tool, I squeezed the sides here a little bit just to create some opening on the sides, and I was able to, there we go, pop it right off. Okay, so it's just this little plastic cover that goes on the back. So we can see inside here that we have these two screws that we're going to have to remove, and we're also going to have to remove this front IR filter. Now, the way I figured out how to pop off that IR filter is I just take this long thing. You need to make sure it's long enough to go through the entirety of this whole sensor. Stick it in here at the top, and you just kind of push it. You have to give it a bit more pressure than that. I've already pulled it off, so it came off easier this time, but that's what it looks like. You can see here, that's the sensor, and you can also see in the back that these holes up here go all the way through the whole thing, and that's how we were able to pop that front IR cover off. So we just popped it all the way through, and it came out here. So now we'll get to work removing these little screws. Now that these two screws are removed, we can actually push this whole thing out through the front here. Push the board right here through. Alright, so we push that, and we can see that the sensor is now coming out the front. Push this cable up in here, and this whole thing comes out. Alright, so here's the sensor shell, and here we have the sensor. Okay, next we have a few screws to remove. This little screw back here is not too hard to remove, this one right here. So we'll use that little screwdriver. This one just comes out. This screw here is also a Phillips. This one is super hard to remove. I tried using the same little Phillips head bit that I used for this one over here, and it felt like it was going to strip. It didn't really work. So I grabbed this slightly larger Phillips head screwdriver, and I tried removing it like this, and it was so tight that what I had to do was use my pliers to hold my screwdriver on the table while I push this on the top and basically jammed this in and rotated this. Okay, and that was the only way I could figure out how to get this screw out without stripping it. But anyway, since I've already opened this once before, these are not too hard to open now. Okay. So we see that there's a screw here and then a few washers. Okay. And now that this screws out, this screws out, and this screws out, we can use a little flathead or really any little screwdriver. And there's one last tab. Let's see, right there. So we're just going to push that down to release it, and this whole thing opens up. And there we go. We can also see that this is the rotating ball part here. And this is where the cable is. So we're going to slide that over a little bit to make room. Now we're going to slide this open just a little bit. It's still attached by a screw right there, but I'm just going to pull it open a little bit and remove this cable, and there we go. So we can see that this is the same cable as this other one. Just a standard USB peripheral cable. I'm going to remove this, and this is now just trash. We don't need this. So we see that if we plug this in, right there, should be good to go. All right, this would plug into our computer, and now we have a functioning sensor. The only problem is this cable is not the same as this right angle cable. So it's hitting the plastic here, and it's, I think, hitting the plastic here as well. So I'm going to take a Dremel tool, and I'm just going to cut this off just to make some room here. I'll also need to drill a new hole at the bottom, I guess at the back of this, so that this cable can go straight through. So I'm going to remove this screw right here. And I'm going to just lop off this thing here and this thing here. So hopefully that's going to be big enough to allow this cord through. Let's check it out. It's still hitting. I think I'm just going to chop off this whole bottom side. So we're still hitting down here. Okay, looking better. It's still hitting here. You can see in here, it's still hitting. So, okay, we have full clearance. It's looking good. Cool. Clearance. Cool. So since the cord is now coming out the back, I'm going to have to cut a hole here. This feels like it's just plastic, so not super hard to cut through. I think it should fit. I think it should. So now we slide this back through here. Oh shoot, we forgot this. This is the stand. No. So this just goes in here. Sorry for the poor lighting, everybody. This just fits in here. Yep. Good to go there. It's a little loose. Oh, I know why. I forgot the screws. Duh. Okay, nice and tight, and yeah, much better. We'll slide this back in. Much better. Doesn't jiggle around now. Let's see, this should just fit right in. Yeah. Alright, so what's happening is I'm trying to screw this in, and it's pushing this part out. So I'm going to have to hold my finger up here just to keep it in until it's screwed in. Okay. Much better. Okay. This part just snaps back in. That gets plugged in. Let's see if this still fits on the back. Yikes. Not really. It doesn't really fit. I'm gonna cut off this tab here and see if that helps. Okay, cool. Pretty much fits there. So this is a lens filter. So I'm cleaning this off because I don't want any junk in it, because that would interfere with the camera's operation. Okay, so now we'll just place this back on. An Oculus sensor with a new USB cable on it. And hopefully I'll be able to use this to play some cool 3D games. Okay, so we were able to Frankenstein this Oculus Rift sensor and put in a new cable in the back. If there's anything else that goes wrong in the future with this thing, I think we'll be able to open it up pretty easily and attach a new cable or do whatever we need to do. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. And if you want to watch more stuff like this in the future, hit subscribe. Thanks a lot, have a good day, and I hope this helped you out.